This is the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla in the 3D Security and Training Academy studios.
This is a day of honor. This is a day of thanks. On Memorial Day, we remember and honor and give thanks to those who died in service to our nation.
Memorial Day, a time to remember and to reflect on those who gave all for us. Today, we have a very special guest, Lisa Hallett, who's helping to honor our troops in a spectacular way. A heartfelt Palin message for Memorial Day. The Palins turn the page on another school year. A brand new installment of Liberty and Legacy with Tamara Colbert is on the way from Texas. And just ahead, our latest edition of Steel Resolve with Sarah Steelman in Missouri. Welcome to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. The Palin Update is sponsored by 3D Security and Training Academy. Learn more at 3dsta.com. This past week, Sarah Palin took to social media to highlight an incredible effort, Wear Blue, Run to Remember. This amazing cause gives people a chance to run or walk for our men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice. It's right up Governor Palin's alley for sure. She's a runner. And, of course, one of the greatest military supporters our country has ever known. Today, we're honored to be joined by Lisa Hallett, the widow of a fallen soldier and the co-founder and executive director of Wear Blue, Run to Remember. And now we welcome Lisa to the program. The Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Well, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it, and just a wonderful effort here put up by you and your group, as Sarah Palin said, a worthy cause to contribute to that costs nothing but your energy, and I think that perks people up right away. But, you know, here on Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend, when people, you know, are barbecuing and getting together with family and going to beaches and all that stuff's great, you know, we remember what it's really all about. And here, through your group, you really are putting into perspective not only what it's about, but an easy way to tell other people what it's about and remind folks. So let's talk a little bit from the beginning. What is your group and how did it start?
Well, it's just, Sarah said it well, that it costs nothing but your energy and your sweat, a little bit of it. But Wear Blue, Run to Remember is a running community that honors the service and sacrifice in the American military. And we have chapters all across the country that meet every week, call out the names of fallen service members, and then push off and run or walk in their memory. It's a life-affirming way for our communities to remember our service members who've made the ultimate sacrifice, but to also support our actively serving military members, their families, and to keep the families of the fallen into the community. And it's such a beautiful way to support one another. And for me personally, it's been a very powerful part of my life. And here on Memorial Day, we really bring this to fruition on a national scale and challenge our nation really to just head to the Wear Blue, Run to Remember website, commit to run in honor of our fallen service members, and then push off and do something life-affirming.
Now, let's tell our listeners about why you got involved and how you started. Obviously, not a good story there, but what you're doing now is just tremendous. Tell us why this is so personal to you.
Well, I was blessed to marry my very, very best friend, John Hallett. We grew up together and had 3 healthy, happy, beautiful children. John went to West Point and graduated in 2001 and entered a military career that we were both very proud to belong to and be a part of. And John deployed to southern Afghanistan in July of 2009. 3 weeks after John left, our youngest child, Heidi, was born. And Heidi is just a delight, definitely my ticket to Hollywood. But 3 weeks after John deployed and then Heidi was born, I headed to a military family meeting. And I was pulled out of that meeting into the battalion classroom. And there were 2 gentlemen in green suits waiting for me. And they had a script, and they read it. And they said, "The Secretary of Defense regrets to inform you that your husband, Captain John L. Hallett, believed to have perished in the fires." And I stopped listening because they said believed. But John had been killed with 3 other brave men on his way home from a goodwill mission. And my world was turned upside down. It became a deployment that claimed 41 lives. And on the home soil, we had a community of family members really looking for a way to support one another through a very difficult and scary time, but also desperately seeking a tangible way to honor these men. These are our friends, our coworkers, the men and women who we were entrusted to care for and who were caring for us, and we really needed a way to honor and remember them. So every Saturday morning, this community of women and military began to gather, and we'd circle, sometimes 10 of us, sometimes 25 of us. We'd call out the names of our fallen soldiers, and then we'd push off and run. And I think in the beginning there was a piece of us desperately trying to run from the grief and tragedy that life had handed us. But I think we all learned that we were slowly running not from but through, and really building a powerful memorial on the way. And when the military unit returned from their deployment, we found our steps were not alone. And these men and women who had walked into the fires were also looking for a healthy way to reintegrate with their families and a life-affirming way to remember these men who they respected and had served alongside. And they joined our steps, and Wear Blue, Run to Remember, a national nonprofit, and really a movement began.
You know, I think it really is more than just symbolism. You touched on it there a little bit, the fact that you are running and not necessarily running away, like you said, or some maybe at first, whatever they need to do, really, but that you are running and showing that support through that way. Plus, people seeing all that blue coming at you has to be pretty impressive.
It's powerful, and I think one of the scariest things as a family of a fallen service member is that they will be forgotten. They will be a chapter closed. But there is nothing closed about John. When I start running, I am able to share his stories and his life with the people next to me. And every run starts with a circle of remembrance. It's this dynamic mix of community members, military, families of the fallen, just people who understand and appreciate our military. But I say his name. My children say his name. I hear the names of other service members. I stand side by side with their men and women who actively serve. There is just power and strength in that, and it is such a blessing to be empowered by that type of community and to keep those names alive.
What's been the response from folks who are just in it, to help out, those who haven't lost anyone or those who may not have anyone even in the military? I think a lot of times that's even more impressive that you're reaching those people because, in this day and age, there are a lot of folks who really do believe Memorial Day is a day to go buy a dishwasher or find out if you could buy a car. I have sometimes I don't like that on other holidays, but this one in particular, or when people say Happy Memorial Day, I kind of just roll my eyes a little bit thinking, do you really have any idea what it's about? Do you feel that you were able to reach folks who have no military ties but are now coming out and are a big part of this?
I think that we are so fortunate to live in a country where so many people really do respect and appreciate the military, but often there's not always the avenue to show that respect and admiration. And so Wear Blue has been a really powerful bridge to the military, to the civilian community and support for our military because we give the tangible. And on this year leading up to Memorial Day, something unique about our effort as community members and people across the country commit to run as a part of the Sea of Blue from their front doors or in a local community. Wear Blue has provided the name of a fallen service member. And so they've found that name, they've read their stories, and all of them, these men, with that fear, the family's fear of them becoming a closed chapter, continue to breathe life into our day. And we're not stuck at the moment of their death, but really inspired by the lives they lived. And I think that's a gift for all of us.
How have things grown as far as the Wear Blue to Remember run? I mean, what are you expecting for this holiday?
Well, the very first year we said, okay, we were at just over 6,500 service members had been killed in the global war on terror, and we challenged, let's see if we can get 6,500 miles ran, and we were so nervous. And as the minutes ticked closer to Memorial Day, the miles came flooding in. And then we've continued to grow. And this year, we wanted to be bold in our challenge. And we said, not miles, but people. We wanted 10,000 strong in honor of our fallen service members. And we are at 4,481 individuals have headed to the website and say, yeah, I can walk a mile. And I'm going to make that mile the point in Memorial Day where I pause and remember. that men and women have made the ultimate sacrifice and push forward. And we have about 48 hours left for people to head to wearblueruntoremember.org and make a commitment to be a part of this. And I think, it's so important to me and to my children, but I know that every day our military wake up and they remember. There's not a moment that passes that they do not think of their brothers in arms who've made the ultimate sacrifice. And I know that people who knew my husband, John, they always remember him and how extraordinary he is. But on Memorial Day, it is so important that my 3 children, all of our families of the fallen, have an opportunity to witness in a really vibrant, tangible way that our country does remember, that they do care, and that we are not left behind. And Wear Blue is such an easy way to access that and make that a reality. And every day my kids and I would check how many people are running for Daddy. And I just know tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, people are going to continue to head to the website and just really commit to take purposeful steps for John and all the heroes like them. And it just means so much to us to have this very tangible symbol that John is not forgotten.
Well, this is how Sarah Palin put it on Facebook and social media. She said, here's a worthy cause to contribute to that costs nothing but your energy. This effort encourages runners and walkers to wear blue and dedicate the miles you put in on Memorial Day to America's finest who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. The Wear Blue Run to Remember event was started by the widow of a fallen soldier as a way to honor her husband and all our fallen heroes, our active duty military, and their families. God bless them for their sacrifices. Please visit the event's website to see how you can be a part. And that website, Lisa, is?
wearblueruntoremember.org.
And, Palin's words struck a chord, but, I really love the picture that she happened to include there. You see some of the people taking part, and talk about, a group, an eclectic group here, men, women. You see one man has a prosthetic leg. You're guessing that's probably a soldier for sure. And then you see children, of course, who are the future here, and we need them to have an appreciation for those who, have served before and those serving now. And I think that's just a great shot. I think that picture, besides the sea of blue, I think all the different people that are involved, really must make you feel proud of what you're doing.
I am. Every time I step out in blue and belong to that sea, I am so humbled by the men and women who carry me and have their own stories of courage that drive their steps. And I'm so proud to be a part of this community.
Now, is this after Memorial Day? What happens after Memorial Day? Are you looking just toward the next Memorial Day, or is there something you do for the Wear Blue to Remember organization throughout the year?
The best way to learn more about Wear Blue is to head to the website, hear the history. But we have chapters and meetups that meet every year, every Saturday of the year. And I really encourage people to join a community in their area, start one, or find one of our Wear Blue races and either be a part of our Wear Blue Mile, where we hold flags in honor of fallen service members, or start sweating it with us. It has been 5 years since my husband passed away, and I am so grateful for the many lasagnas that have fueled my family on the way. But we don't need a lasagna anymore. I am always so grateful when somebody says, you know what, I can sweat with you. I will walk from across the country, but carry your family in my heart, or just really in support of our military. Because Wear Blue stands on 3 pillars: for the fallen, for the fighting, and for the families. And every time someone takes purposeful steps as a part of the Wear Blue community, they are ready for the stories and holding up all of our military and their families.